Hi, everybody. This is Brooke Bacon. I just wanted to let you know that our webcast will be starting shortly. We are just going to give you a brief overview of GSI while you wait. So, who is GSI? GSI is a full-service consulting and managed services organization with deep application and industry knowledge. This deep knowledge allows us to develop advanced AI and automation that delivers cutting-edge intelligence. This unmatched intelligence is what enables our clients to thrive and not just survive. So why partner with GSI? GSI is a full-service ERP, SaaS, cloud, ITSM, cybersecurity reseller, consulting, and managed services organization. We have industry, application, and technical certifications, and we not only understand the business system you are utilizing, but most importantly, the industry. Advanced AI and automation are used in all of our products and services to help our clients reduce TCO and increase ROI. We have offices nationwide and partners worldwide, which allows us to offer a 24/7 global support model. And we are the only partner you will find in the industry that has a 100% guarantee on everything we do. Here are a few of the awards and accreditations and certifications we have received. Our mission is to make every customer a client. To accomplish this mission, we create a culture that attracts and retains the most creative, energetic, and experienced professionals. Here are some of the products that we have developed to help our clients thrive. Genius AI is a platform designed to support the development and execution of customized modules for system monitoring, application monitoring, AI, and automation. Modules can be developed and executed for almost any business system. Our clients use Genesis Performance Optimizer to model, measure, and maximize system performance for all of their web-based business systems. Genome is our newest product that will detect, analyze, and automate the process of converting customizations into orchestrations. Rapid Reconciler is our tool that reconciles perpetual, in-transit, and received not vouchered inventory. Rapid Approval is an application for quickly processing workflow approval requests in Salesforce. And G Shield is a line of security products that we are continuing to expand. Currently, we have two products, JDE Password Reset and JDE Two-Factor Authentication. As you can see from these testimonials, our clients attest to the fact that we focus on the business value of their systems, not just the performance. This business value focus allows our clients to transform antiquated systems of record into market share expansion machines.
Quick introduction and some housekeeping. We'll get into the main presentation. I'll give you some information and talk to you about a few things. Then Dan's going to get into how we can use search to help us in our organizations and to help other people in the organization be able to support your clients and support themselves whenever they need to answer questions or look for information. So, again, Tom Gabriel, Senior Solution Consultant, Dan Schultz, Senior Manager of our delivery organization. Take a second here to read our safe harbor statement. You're going to hear things from us today that are forward-thinking and new, and understanding JD Edwards and Oracle. It's a very fluid product. Enhancements are constantly being made and driven. So what we're telling you today is what we know as of the latest tools release, which is tools release 9.2.5.3. Okay? So let's look and let's understand what we want to do with search. When we talk about search, we have to understand our JD Edwards system. We have to understand how it's structured and how it's made so that you understand what exactly we're talking to when we say enterprise search. You have what is normally referred to as the user interface, the things that you see when you sign into JD Edwards, the applications, the menus, things of that nature. That's the user interface. But below that, we have applications that have been developed for people to run their business, to transact and record data, to be able to inquire on data, change data, report on data. So all of those applications, you might have item availability to understand how much of a certain item you have or what branches and warehouses those items are stored. You might have an application for your customer service group where they can go in and they can actually enter an order or change an order or inquire as to a status of an order. But all of those applications are written over what's called the tools and the foundation layer. That tools and foundation layer are really the backbone for everything else that happens in JD Edwards. Now, in the past, that tools and foundation layer can only be adjusted and can only be manipulated by a developer or someone in your organization that had that skill set where they can go in and they can use the form design aid or the tools that are inherent in JD Edwards to expand the applications or create customizations and modifications. But you're going to see now that Oracle has given you the capability, especially with search, where you're going to be able to turn around and, for argument's sake, construct some type of view for yourself where you could inquire into certain information and then see additional related information. And if you want, literally launch yourself out into an application so that then you can continue to do your work or analysis. So when we look at JD Edwards, we can see that right now, I said that we're on tools release 9.2.5.3. That holds true for the applications as well. And you'll see that Oracle, what they've decided to do is they've decided that they're not going to give any major releases anymore. They're not going to turn around and they're not going, if you see those silver bubbles in 9.1, 9.2, 9.2 was the last major release. Now all the applications and tools, they come out with singular little releases, be they individual or cumulative, but they come out every so often to give you new enhancements, to give you bug fixes, to give you all those other things you need to keep your investment in JD Edwards secure and growing. And in the past, 3-4 years ago, Lyle Ekdahl said that we would support you through 2030. Now, a couple of years ago, he said 2031. I'm sure if you attended his sessions, that Oracle presented, you'll hear that Oracle has made the investment now to push that out and provide premier support for release 9.2 through 2032. So what does that mean? What that means is years ago, 10 years ago, Oracle started with a philosophy of, hey, get off of XC, get off of, release 8.11 or 8.12, upgrade to a 9 release, because why? We are going to make it easier for you to upgrade. We're going to stop giving you these big major releases. We're going to give you these little components that you can absorb and start using in your business. We're going to simplify the upgrade process so that even if you have modifications in your system, as long as you've done them the right way, they're going to migrate in kind when you upgrade tools or upgrade applications. Not only that, but Oracle said we're also going to layer in some kind of Internet of Things, some type of machine capability where your system itself can start doing things from you from an integration perspective or a transactional perspective. We're going to help your user not only become a citizen developer and be able to adapt and implement and do things on their own, but we're also going to allow you to develop at a user level your own unique experience as to how you use the software and the system to conduct your business. There's no longer going to be a rigid kind of way to do something. In the past, you had to transact a certain way. Now Oracle has developed the tool such that not only can you as a user adapt the tool set to be the way you want it, you are now going to be able to utilize the machine and your machines on the shop floor or whatever to work hand in hand with your users, so that not only are you going to be, you know, alerted and acting on something, but your system itself can detect and decide what to do with information. So all of this is done through tools, and your tools, you're getting all of this information to you in several ways. You're either getting what's called an ESU, an electronic software update. That's something that Oracle produces to fix a known problem or bug that is known for the application or a report. You may get an application software update, which is an enhancement for a particular functional area. One of the most recent ones that have come out that I liked is for manufacturing with work orders, where just like your sales order can have a history where a user can go back and see for a given sales order line, what were the actual historical steps that that order took, you now have that capability for a work order. You're also going to have the ability to do language updates, because if I'm a global company and all of a sudden I take an ASU for a new piece of functionality and I have operations in China, well, I'm going to need to understand that in Chinese. You can have a maintenance pack, which is a grouping of all of these fixes that you can put together somehow so that you can do a cumulative type of update versus singular. And then you have the tools release, right? A group of all fixes to the foundation and system code that you saw on that earlier slide. So it's important to understand that Oracle is not stopping. They keep developing new tools, they keep developing new enhancements. And as I said, for an application, you're on update 5. For the tools, you're on update 5. Premier support is now beyond 2031, it goes to 2032. And Oracle is doing all this under what they call a continuous innovation model, which means that they will be continually developing and delivering to you these enhancements. And it's up to you to look at them, understand them, figure out what it is you should or shouldn't use, and then adopt them within your organization. Because what you need to realize is that Oracle doesn't stop. If we look at when release 9.2 came out, that came out back in October of 2015, we can see that the tools releases, the application releases, the enhancements, about every year, they come out with some new application enhancements. So once 9.2 came out, there was a hiatus of a few years before 9.2.2. That's because Oracle was doing a lot of the foundation updates. But then after every year, you can see that we get an additional update, and we're now at 9.2.5. But because the foundation is the key to JD Edwards, in the same period of time, look at how many updates there are to your tools. And they're not every year. The updates to the tools are about every 6 months or so. And you can see that anywhere from 3 to 6 to 8 updates come out within those 6 months. And some periods of time, there's a lot of enhancements, and in others, there's just a few. But you can see, as of today, we are now on 9.2.5.3 for tools. So remember, Oracle is constantly delivering, continuously innovating the system and the software. So you as an organization have to understand that there's two sides to that coin. There's the continuous delivery by Oracle, and there's your continuous adoption of what they're giving you. So Oracle gives you things on a frequent and regular basis. They might be singular, they might be cumulative, but it's up to you as a client to look at what they're giving you and to adopt those new features and functionality that you need to take into your organization. And you need to do this on a regular basis. Now, when I say regular basis, what I mean by that is it doesn't have to be every time Oracle comes out with it, but you can't wait a year. You can't wait 18 months and then all of a sudden decide to take these things. Because as long as you take them on a, I'm going to say at least semi-annual basis, the length of time it takes for you to bring those in-house is going to be a lot less than if you wait a year or 18 months. So you could selectively adopt and take what you need to, but you have to continually look and understand what it is they're giving you. Because Oracle has an ongoing mission, and it's really a three-pronged attack. Their ongoing mission is to simplify the way that JD Edwards can be upgraded, quote unquote, and used internally in your organization. They're looking to optimize the functionality in the process. And at the same time, they're looking to transform your JD Edwards system into a market share expansion machine by letting it leverage and work together with other hardwares and softwares and other platforms so that you can get this holistic ERP system. So simplifying and automating is looking at how you administer and deploy your systems. The optimization is saying, how can I make my user that citizen developer, but at the same time, let them enhance their business process? And last but not least, how can I digitally transform the system by letting it be able to extend and work with other digital platforms outside of JDE? i.e., how can I use Orchestrator to move data back and forth? How can I use Orchestrator that when I move data into JD Edwards, I can still kick off applications? And then when results come back, I can send notification messages to people that said, hey, it failed. This is why it failed. This is what you need to fix. So simply put, look at your JD Edwards system by updating and optimizing your applications to protect and improve your business and let you still be the leader within your industry. Look to digitally transform by automating process and doing things with a low or no code user interface, letting your users be able to control their own destiny. Utilizing integrations with Orchestrator as a single integration point versus having multiple other systems you have to maintain. And automate the system by letting it be a more efficient running, lower maintenance type of enterprise resource planning system. All right. So back in the day when I started, everything was transactional. I put in a transaction, it got stored somewhere, I reported against it. Maybe I moved a bunch of information into a data warehouse so that I can manipulate and see things across multiple tables. And that's what Dan's going to show you with search, right? With search, you're going to be able to enter into one spot, but then if you need to see some other information, you're going to be able to launch out into other areas to see other information. Now we're beyond the supervised ERP system. We're into an intelligent ERP system with all this machine learning and augmented intelligence and decision making. Oracle has positioned JD Edwards such that we are getting well beyond this intelligent ERP kind of software. So let's turn around and let's understand that if you're not on a 9 release, if you're still on 8.12, if you're on World, World is a great product, but naturally it doesn't have the capabilities that Enterprise One has. Make sure you have to be on 9.2. You have to go to 9.2. Support for any other release level is done. Get to a point where you can upgrade quickly and take a tools release in less than 100 days. You can take a tools release now in a matter of weeks. Have a simplified upgrade process. Look at your customizations and modifications. Make sure they're done the right way so that when you go to upgrade, they don't become a bottleneck and have to be retrofitted. That's a lot of your money is spent. Use the Internet of Things, use augmented intelligence, use Orchestrator to integrate and to process data and to send notifications. Let your people do what they need to do to get their job done the way they need to get it done. When you take these things, make sure you take them and move them through your infrastructure just like any other modification or customization would be. Put them in your PY or test environment. Let your users get down there. Let your users test them and let your users decide what they should bring up or not, and use your change management process to promote them up into production, and do this the same way you would do anything else. Now, you might still need security once they're in production, but at least in the test environment, let people understand the full capability so they can make the best decision. Work with your users and your developers and your IT staff to develop that user experience. And more importantly, make sure that you're utilizing your augmented intelligence, artificial intelligence, so that you can get beyond just being alerted and analyzing things via a human and then having a human act on that. Let your system detect and decide what it needs to do. All of this is done through user-defined objects, UDOs. Those UDOs, those infrastructure tools, that foundation layer we saw earlier, that's where you install, you update, you manage, you let your users do what they need to do so that you can get a rapid time to value of your JD Edwards investment, lower your cost of ownership by minimizing retrofits and upgrade work and things of that nature. Let your system be a configuration and personalization tool rather than a tool that needs to be constantly customized. So let it scale within your organization. All of this being done with the tools and technology that people use outside of work. UDOs, user-defined objects, they're that key component for your ERP transformation experience. So ask yourself, what are your users going to do? Queries and watch lists, the search that we're going to show you right now, form personalizations and extensions, Cafe One and Compose pages, some type of reporting tool. All of these user-defined objects working in concert with orchestrations and notifications so that each individual in your community, user community, can customize their own experience. Dan and I may not see things the same way. We may have the same job function. We may have the same type of responsibility, but the way we go about it might be different, none worse than the other, but we need to be able to construct our own experience. So what are we going to talk to today? Here's all the UDOs that we can talk to. Here's all the UDOs that Dan and his group can help your organization understand and layer in. But what we're going to talk to today is about enterprise search. And when we talk about enterprise search, we have to understand that really in JD Edwards, there's two kinds of search. There's one called Enterprise One Task Search. That comes with the software. You as an organization don't have to turn it on. It's there right from the get-go. And it utilizes what's called the fast path line. Like when you click on the icon to get your menu tree, you'll have that little box up top that's called a fast path box. Now, 99.99% of the organizations don't let all of the users use a fast path. And even though they're secured out of using FastPath, using this field for search, all users can still do that. And all a user needs to do is go in there and type some type of jargon, right? Be it the word journal, or be it some other kind of, identifier. And once the user does that, the system will go back and it will find any task. Now, a task in JD Edwards can be an application, can be a report, can be a batch job, but it will search for those tasks that have that nomenclature. And then the user is going to be able to click on it and navigate and do what they want. So that's delivered with the software, no big deal. What I'm talking to you about, what Dan's going to show you, is when you click on the drop-down arrow for your user ID, you'll see a line that says manage, or you may see a line that says manage content. And when you open that up, you may see a line item that says search group. Now, the reason I'm saying may is because Enterprise One Search is a user-defined object. All of these new tools are delivered to your organization secured out. So your users are automatically locked out of these. You have to be granted access. So when you go back to your organization and you click the drop down by your ID and you don't see manage content, or you open manage content and you don't see search groups, it's because you have not been granted that access in your organization. You need to have access to be able to do what Dan is going to show you in a second. So this Enterprise One Search Group is what you're going to use. Now, in Tools Release 925, they came out with some new enhancements. So if you're not on Tools 925, you're not going to be able to see this. But the enhancement they came out with in 925 allows you to do a search on an exact match. And what I mean by that is, if you search for the numerals 210, the system might return back to you the number 210555, or it might return back 90210. The point is, it will just look for that string within the applicable fields that you're searching on. Well, now, to make it easier for you, if you want to find exactly 210, you can say, just find that exact match. So nothing at the beginning, nothing at the end. Not only are you going to be able to find an exact match, anything you search on, the results are going to be exportable to a CSV file, so that you can take all of these results and then send it along to other people. You're also going to be able to, when you see related actions, i.e. go into item availability per se, you're going to be able to say, when I go into item availability, I want to use this program and this personalized form and or this query when I launch that application. So you're going to be able to do a lot more things. Oracle's not stopping. They're still going to enhance this stuff. So with that, we're going to turn this over. I'm going to turn this over to Dan, and he's going to show you how you could create a search group and give you some particular organizational, company kind of specifics as to how some of our clients are using this. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to let Dan share his screen, and Dan's going to get in and create for you a search to help you out. So it's
All right,
off.
Tom, you can let me
Yeah.
I'm disabled for the screen sharing, so if you can, because I'm disabled from.
I wonder why.
I don't know.
Let's see. Let me see if I can pass these along to you.
Pass the baton, please.
Yeah, well, who knows? Who knows? All right, let's figure this out. What I'm going to do before we figure this out, Dan, is I'm going to stop recording or pause recording, resume recording. All right, so now we're going to turn it over to Dan. He's going to show you how to create a search group and what he can do. Go ahead, Dan.
All right, let's see if I can share this. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yep, you're good, Dan.
All right. Well, hello everybody. Okay, so, it's funny, the search is really a kind of cool tool, and I didn't really give it much credit until I really thought about it, because I had an account, a client that had multiple salespeople. They covered the whole United States, but they're East Coast, and they're heavy West Coast stuff. But so they'd send out, emails at the end of the night, hey, this order shipped, and sometimes their clients couldn't open something, or they needed more questions. So they'd call, and there's nobody there to answer the question, because most of the sales guys work for the second shift or for the later in the day for the West Coast stuff. So a lot of times their office staff would have to answer questions, and they didn't have access to JD Edwards necessarily. So what they did is they ran reports every night. Well, these reports, by the time they got to them, were already stale, right? So that was a problem. So then they brought in a developer, and they developed this huge inquiry, a way to get them the information without them having to go one place, right? So they were putting in some information, it would bring back some of that stuff. And it was great, but it was a modification, and it didn't give them everything they needed. But we're going to show you what I have these guys modified. It took a little while to do. We're going to do that all in about 10 minutes. So it's kind of a neat thing to realize that you can do that and make that quick of a change. So we're going to go there. So as you recall seeing Tom when he was showing you the screen, there was a big search up here in the corner, and you notice I don't have one. It's because I deleted the only searches I had out there. So I'm going to show you a brand new one. So if you don't see one here, you don't have one. So let's go in and we're going to add one. Again, I'm going to go to my pull down, and I'm going to click my manage content and search groups. So it's going to bring up the screen like you're going to create something, something new part of the screens, the new part of the web page. I'm going to create something, and I'm going to create a sales table. So I'm going to use that. Let's go to name here. It's called sales search. We're going to do 4211. If you notice, you can do both a table or a business view, whichever works better for you. I'm just going to be simple and use the table, but sometimes you want to use, a lot less information or a lot more multiple tables that are put together in business view. You can certainly do that. So as I clicked it, you can see that there's an awful lot of things out here, and I can do multiple tables out here and build a whole great big thing. We're not going to get too, extravagant during this little example, right? But we're going to grab a few things. So one of the things I want to look up, I want to look at my customer order, right? So I'm going to need to know what is my item number, what is my who's my customer, my order number, my invoice number, all that stuff. So let's go through the list and we'll grab a bunch of things, right? So we know we want to have the item number, and we know we want to have. We can actually search up here too. So let's do that. We'll do AN8 because we know that's our customer, right? So I want to do my address number, my DOCO, so we can do that. If I wanted just my doc, let's hit 0 here and bring down here my invoice number. You notice it's starting to build here over here, right? So we're going to get to that in a minute. It's getting close. It's getting fun. So I want to see my quantity shipped. I want to see my branch. I want to see MCU. I want to see my quantity shipped. I'm not sure what it is. Let's go. I think it's QNTY, but shipped quantity. Quantity shipped. Here we go. Quantity shipped. I want to see my unit price, my extended price. Let's see. I gotta have these all right here, wouldn't I? I want to do my extended price. Let's get the extended out here. Price. Well, you know, I'm on my VRO1. I want to bring my customer PO number, right? VRO1. And just for grins, I'll tell you why in a minute, but I need my IT and my short number. We'll tell you why in a minute. Okay. So I've got all these things out here, right? But, you know, it's all great that it's a column, but let's make it in a layout. Remember doing layouts? If you've seen some of the stuff you can do in the grid formatting and stuff, I want to create a layout. So I'm going to grab a few things. You can do it by just the value or the value in the title. And you know what? I don't even want to use second item. Let's change these things. So let's call this like SKU. SKU. And let's call, let's see, customer, let's see, this is order number is good. How about invoice? Invoice. So we can actually quickly override all these things, right? Call this warehouse. And let's go with, for reference number, we're going to actually call this customer PO, right? So that's all set. So let's click on this and we'll say, oh, look, they all changed. All those things I just changed. Well, let's bring over the title for that one. Let's do another one. Let's say order number. We'll just do the value. Let's do invoice number. We'll do the whole thing so we know what it is. Let's do the warehouse. Let's go down. Let's keep this all nice little compact thing, right? So let's go with customer. I probably could bring in the address one with the address, so the actual names in there, but I'm not going to do that right now. Quantity shipped. Let's say price. We'll do extended price with the title. Come down one more. We'll do customer PO number. And we'll come down one here. We don't need a short item number. So that's a nice little grid of stuff, right? So let's do a save on that. I'm going to call this sales search. Let's come out. So as luck would have it, I have a few things out there that I've set up. And we're going to call Dan test. So if you notice, I've got a few things out here that brings back information here. So I've got some things that are Dan test is the customer PO number, which is what I was really looking for, but obviously I have some test data out there as well. So it's kind of both in there. But I've got stuff out here. This is the stuff I'm really looking for. So I can see what is my, what is my item number? What is my, PO, customer PO number? What's my my document number? If I have an invoice, what's this? So I can actually clear and say, I only want to see things with invoices. So let's go back and do some of that. So I can also click this exact match, by the way. Oh, I have to have no space, but oh, there it is. Okay, so exact match brings back exactly what we're looking for, right? So we were talking about that before. So let's say it's not enough stuff. I want to do more of this stuff. This is great that I've got this information, but let's go get out of here. Go back up here. Got to actually be out of it to go back to it. So let's add some more stuff. Okay, so I've got the information I want, but what if I wanted to see something else? So if you look up here, we've got, again, we're talking about if I wanted to add some only invoice not equal 0 or something, right? So I can say invoice is greater than 0. Okay, so that's that being said, let's save that real quick. Okay, well, they all have an invoice, so I just did the same one. But so there you go. If I did all the other ones, I got rid of the exact matching, which I did. I want to see the ones with the invoices because the other ones were just test items, right? So let's go back and we're going to go and play with some more stuff because there's more you can do there, right? So if you notice when we had that the search, there's a bunch of other groupings in here. Well, it's related information action. So what is it that you can do with related information or action? So you can actually add, let's go back to action. Let's go to action. So I can say an action, for instance, I want to open an application. So I can pick the application I want. Maybe I want to see, how about open invoices? So Tom, I think we're going to have to just make sure I got this right. 03B11. B11. Hopefully that's in there. All right, standard invoice entry. Okay, so I want to go out and I want to bring some of this stuff back. And I want to do personalized form. No, if I want to do a query, I could do a query. If I had a query set up, I could bring that in automatically. I want to actually say, I want to marry AN8, I think. So AN8. Oh, I don't have it. I don't have AN8, do I? Over here, wrong one. I did the wrong one. I don't think I did. You know what, Tom? I'm going to go into a different one. I'm going to go into availability. So we're going to look up that one. P41 202. Click OK. So in this one, I'm going to actually say I want to go by item number. If you notice, there's no item number here, but there is short item number. Where is it? There it is. No, I use ITM. Map that one to. So that's why I brought the short item number over. Okay. And I can even map over business unit too if I'm in a business unit. I'm not going to do that, but you can. You could be really specific if you wanted to. Certain lots, all that type of thing. So let's save this and see what happens. So again, let's look at Dan test. Okay, now if you notice, we have these little guys over here. Select an action. I can go into detail availability from here. So if I wanted to see what I have for 210s, or even better yet, let's go to the 220 because there's only one there. It'll take me out to, oops, see, I got the wrong one. So that's good. We can actually go and fix that. I brought back the wrong business view, the wrong thing, right? So it doesn't have anything in here. So let's go back and fix it. Oops. No.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah, a little click on the
A little
trigger
orchestration at the same time. Okay.
No. All right, so let me blow that away and we'll do it again. P41202. Maybe I want a different form. I want to actually do work with availability. Click OK. Okay, I want to assign my short item. I want to map it to short item number. We'll save. So that's the beauty of these things. You can go in and you can quickly make changes on the fly. You don't have to wait for a package to be built and go test it and then come back and go, oh, that's not what I want. You can do it and fix it yourself. So again, let's try the 220. Voila, there we go. So now I got the right view, right? Business right form, if you will. I can see what I'm looking for. So it gives me all the quantity I have on hand for that item, this red touring bike. Mm-hmm. So it's very quick and easy, but maybe I want to add something else. What if there's something else I want to add? Well, first of all, I forgot to mention this before. If you noticed, you have a little download here. I can export my results. Click that and say, give me all data. Current page, all data, whatever you want. And it brings in a nice little CSV for your Excel. So for your Excel pleasure, for those of you who must have Excels, there you go. You can have it. Mm-hmm. So let's go and add one more thing because there's more you can add to this. Because this, again, this was the problem with you know, having all the receptionists answer the phones for these guys and say, okay, so you sent me this, but what about this? Where is that? They're like, I don't know. I'll have to get someone to back to you. Instead of, you know, being able to pull it up and look at it, it could all be right here because you could actually see what's there. So let's go and say, you know, I want to know what's out there on order for this. So again, we're going to go back to the action. We're going to add another one. So there's 2 actions there. I'm going to do a 43. Oops, how about P? How about a P4311? All right, so I don't want to do blanket orders, right? So that's no bueno. Well, that's what we got.
Well, you looking to do purchase orders or sales?
4210, how's that?
Yeah, that works.
All right, so I want to do work with order details. And I want to make sure these are not in alphabetical order, which hopefully the next tools release will give you the option to make this in alphabetical order. Where's 01?
Right there in the middle. One more, yeah.
There we go. All right. So I've got this and say, all right, so if I had a personal form, I could use it. If I had a query, which I do, I'm not going to do it yet, but I'll do it next. Bring it open. But you can say, okay, I want to know for this item number, again, short item is mapped to short item. I just want to see what's open for these guys, right? And I click OK here.
Save, yeah.
And close this. And if you notice, I can, well, I'll tell you again next time I show up there. Okay, so I've got it came up again, but now if I click on this again, I see 2 things. One is item availability and one is work with order details. So this is part of the problem. They had 3 reports that ran at 3 a.m. One is what was shipped last night, what's on hand, and what's on order. So they had the same reports. They're stale by the time 10 o'clock in the morning comes around, right? So I can go out here and work with my order details. Bang, brings up these. This is what I got on order. And again, if I had a query, I could say only what's open. Although these are all open anyway. But you can bring that in automatically. So it only bring over what's open.
And I think what's nice to show and tell people is from search, you launched an application and anything you could do in that application, you're going to be able to do. So it's not like launching from search is going to inhibit you using the application as if you went into it directly.
Correct. So, and it's great because these people they don't use JD Edwards. They're there to answer the phones and stuff. And quite frankly, this made it a lot easier for them to search for things because they don't need to look at that stuff. Someone gave them a customer PO number or part number, and do the same thing, 210, right? Or 220.
And that's a valid point, Dan, because if the user had to go into the application directly and understand what field he had to put information or she had to put information into, they may not know. Whereas doing it via the search, that search field was already pre-populated, so they didn't have to worry about anything. They just launched the application with the information they're looking for.
Exactly. And you can have multiple searches too. I mean, I'm only showing you the one, but if you put something in here, for instance, you'll see you could have multiple searches. I could have a whole slew of them here, and you can click on the ones that are important. Mm-hmm. So, it could be something that, on a warehouse issue, could be a AP issue, it could be whatever the case may be, whatever you're dealing with, and you can only click for that, or you can add them all together, and you'll see a ton of stuff.
Maybe work orders. You wanted to understand, if a part, what work orders are open for that.
Right. So it's kind of cool. It's, and again, remember, we had a developer that had to develop sort of this before it even became a thing with JD Edwards. And it took quite a while because first you got to map it out, you got to figure it all out, and get format, or when it's tested, you have to agree on it, and package built. I just did all this in 10 minutes, right? So, and of course I had to go back and rework it myself, but 10 minutes, I'm done. So it's a huge time saver. Again, especially with people who don't use JD AdWords a lot, this is huge, huge.
Mhm.
Really makes things a lot easier.
Again, why don't you show them how the related information, maybe you could take them into like open orders or whatever, and just so, pull some fields from open orders for related information. So go back into your search, right?
Yep.
Close out all of this. And when you go into your search group, maybe you add a related information over to 4211, right?
Okay.
And pull in some fields and show them how, when you click on something, you could turn around and even without having to launch in the application, you can bring in some certain fields.
Right. Okay. So, see, what do we want to do here, Tom? Let's give it a good idea here.
Yeah, just grab like, the address number and document type, document number and quantity, just, a few fields just to say that, hey, when you click on this thing, you can see some extra information.
Let's undo this one. I don't want to do that. Let's bring back document. Oh my goodness.
Well, they're in alphabetical order, so you can just scroll down and.
Oh, there's right there. Of course.
Yeah.
Jeez. Map that to. I'll map it to customer. My customer. There it is. Okay. And we'll bring in, I don't know, carrier number, something else.
Yeah, document type, document number, maybe. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Just to show them that, you're showing them how easy this is, that they can go in there and start with a few fields and then just make it as robust as they want. So the important thing to tell them, though, when they do this is the way they select the field is the way it's going to show across when it comes back, right? So you go down to your layout section, you'll see that, the way you sucked in all the fields is the way they're going to show up right to left.
Correct. All right, so let's go and do a quick little looky. Let's see. Okay, so we got information here as well. So I put in related information and just brought over the stuff I just added, right? So there's your item, there's your address number, if there's a carrier, if there is one, document type. I don't know why the document type didn't come in, but that's for invoice.
Well, that's from, yeah.
Right. And the adjustment schedule, I clicked on that. So if there's an adjustment schedule, it'll show there. Okay, I just grabbed some stuff at random, right? So if there's something else that made more sense, it would be there. But if you notice now, that's got the extra another icon, right? That's what this little eye is for. Shows you the related information. Thanks, Tom, for bringing that up. Because
and then, to your point with the 3 dots, how you have multiple, how you could launch out to multiple applications, you can have multiple tables for related information so that underneath that question mark, you might see 4, 5, 6 different, tabs going across your screen because you wanted to select multiple ones. So it's very robust, very robust.
Lots of information. So again, it's not a UDO that I was excited about at all. I'll be honest with you. And the more I got to play around with it, I'm like, this is so cool. You can almost design your own application in a way, just by using this one little search field. It's like Google searching and JD AdWords, basically.
Well,
very, very cool.
To that point too, Dan, I mean, I've had a client where their user, that's what they use. They don't use a page like, your page right here. They just go to search. And once they're done in search, they're launching into applications, they're launching into everything else they need to do. Because if you think about it, if you're an AR person, or your whole little world is just AR, so what are you going to do?
Right. I mean, that's exactly right. Because you have a task, right? And that's you stay in your lane. Sometimes you need to know information.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's it. That's Tom, I got it all, I think.
I think you did. If you want to stop sharing your screen and toss it back to me, there you go. We'll finish this whole thing up. I appreciate it, Dan. As always, thank you.
Welcome.